you're watching Half Asian Tarot Queen. I'm Elisa, here doing a reading. I'm doing a lot of readings because we're like right in the middle of eclipse season, and the 2 weeks in between eclipses when a lot of shifting and changing happens, and it's been pretty, well, we'll just say dramatic. But yeah, I'm going to let you know if you're new to the channel. I do like link related readings up here because the readings are mostly timeless, though right now we're in eclipse season, so it's a little different, but they're all kind of interrelated, so I'll link related readings up there. I also arrange the readings not so much according to date or zodiac sign, but according to like the storyline. So I'll put the storylines in related playlists, which I kind of link down there in the description box. If you've been watching this channel, you'll also know that I'm not really aspiring to be a tarot reader. I just love the tarot. I like really love the tarot. But actually, my destiny in life is to be a vegan cheesemaker. And so, and I'm trying to get back to that. But for the holidays, I'm doing this special. And it's a really limited time offer, but I'm going to do a holiday reading special. And so it's a pretty good deal. It's just like basically in the same format as these readings. And you can choose between a general, a love, or a career finance focused reading. I'm going to put information about how you can sign up for it down below, but it's $35. It's a really good deal. I'm only going to offer like 10 of them because, you know, like I said, I'm aspiring to do something else. I just love this. And so I'm doing this special for the holidays. So if you're interested in that, there's going to be information about it down below. And check it out. Okay, so to start this reading, I'm starting with the Mystical Shaman Oracle, which is probably my favorite deck. And I've already laid out some cards from a couple other decks just to like speed this thing up. Hey, I'm back. So I had to go on an adventure with my mom. This happens sometimes. So anyways, I'm just gonna go right into the cards from the Mystical Shaman. So we got fire, totally matches my outfit. We got the Ancient Ones, the Middle World, Soul Retrieval, and Vision Quest. And then on the bottom we got Beauty Way. So this message, it feels super profound and also very, very appropriate to eclipse season. If you've been watching all the readings from eclipse season, you know, they've been speaking to this profound healing that's been going on, and sort of confronting parts of our shadow self that we haven't been able to confront, and then healing these like distortions that are caused from that sort of like lack of awareness. So this reading really, I think, is speaking to an evolution in this process. Like this whole eclipse season has been really wild. But so, okay, so fire, this speaks to a transformative moment, you know. I mean, fire transforms the elements, you know. You throw wood into the fire, it turns into ash. You throw water, it turns into air, you know. So this speaks to like a very transformational experience that's happening. And then we have the Ancient Ones. So this speaks to your, you know, connection with your ancestors, or maybe people in your life that have passed on to the other side. But just speaking to their influence, still being around you and still influencing you and guiding you through this transformation. Like, even if you feel like you might be alone, you're not. Like, your ancestors are around you and they're trying to help you know, bring awareness to you during this moment, because it's these are like really challenging times. Okay, so then we get the middle world. So the middle world kind of speaks to the heavens and the earth being in alignment. And like these birds, like, you know, it's like these crows, you know, talking about, I mean, in this deck, the crow is sort of representative of the truth. So it's like the truth is revealing itself in this bubble of reality that we're sort of inhabiting, you know. So there's something that's coming into awareness, and it's a good thing, you know. It's allowing for this alignment between the heavens and the earth, and this is a really positive development, you know. And then we have the soul retrieval. So this speaks to a profound healing, you know. So there's like maybe something, you know, we talk about like healing wounds, emotional wounds, or like your shadow element, and that can be represented as the lower world. But when you come and you bring that into the light, you know, and heal that, I mean, the soul retrieval speaks to this process, you know. Like when we have things in our life that we're not ready to confront or we're not ready to face, we kind of disown them, you know, and then they become part of our shadow self. And the process of soul retrieval is to like reintegrate those lost parts of ourselves. And it's interesting because in yesterday's reading, it was all talking about reintegrating parts of ourselves that have been lost. So I'm going to link that here because that seems significant. But you know, when we have come to this place where we've like healed these parts of ourselves, and again, like this is a huge message that's been coming through in this week. Like there was another reading called Where There's Smoke, There's Fire, and just talking about the distortions that come when we block out things that we can't face, you know. And when we reintegrate these lost parts of ourselves, there's like this huge profound healing that happens. But then like also these distortions become healed, and then you come into alignment with things as they really are, you know. The heavens and the earth come into alignment. And so this is actually very empowering, but the process can be really difficult. And then we have the vision quest. So the vision quest speaks to this whole quest of healing parts of yourself, you know, that you haven't been able to face, you know, lost parts of ourselves, and the quest of kind of going through that integration and the awareness that comes from that. You know, it's very enlightening and super healing, because, you know, when you are like healed and integrated with yourself, like that's when you step into ultimate power, because that's when you are at one with all of creation, and you're in your full power to manifest, because you have come into alignment with all that is. So the things that you need will come to you when you need them, and you are fully in your power, you know. And this is sort of like the beauty way, you know. And the beauty way also speaks to, I mean, there's that power that comes from being in alignment with all that is, but it's also just speaking to the power of positivity, you know. Like if you're going through this healing process, and it might involve other people, you know, and it's just reminding you to like look at the positive, you know, and don't get sucked into like gossip and negativity about other people, but just, you know, focus on the positive and the lesson, and focus on yourself, you know, because this is like where your true power is, you know. So stay positive, because that's where you have the most power to manifest and to bring in your full potential, you know, so that's just like a reminder. But, okay, so I'm going to go to the next deck, which is the Radiant Wise Spirit, you know, and at the bottom of this deck, we have the Six of Swords. So this, you know, again, it speaks to this profound healing, like we're moving on from a bad situation to a better situation, you know, and this, it's like we're crossing this bridge over all this emotion, all this water, you know, but it's like healing, like we're bringing things into our awareness, you know. And then the next card we have is the Tower. So like this is a complete breakdown of the way, you know, you thought things were, and things are evolving, you know. It's like, it kind of speaks to this, we're healing these disowned parts of ourselves, and the way that we perceive the world is completely, it's turning on its head and it's changing, you know. And then we go to the Three of Pentacles, which is, this is a new foundation, you know, which comes after the Tower. It's just sort of like there's just been this shakedown of the way that we saw the world, and now there's this new foundation that's emerging. And so then interestingly, we have the King of Wands after that. So this is someone who's like fully in their power to manifest, and, you know, someone with some authority. So this could be somebody that's coming in to help, or someone who might be watching over or presiding over whatever this shift is. But this is a powerful ally, or it could be you, you know, stepping into your power, because this is a very empowering transformation that's happening. And then we have the Four of Wands, which speaks to this stability, you know, like it's like the marriage, family, stability card, you know. So it's like we've got a stable foundation here that's resulting from this. And then we have the Eight of Wands, but this Seven of Wands interestingly fell out with it, you know, underneath. So it's interesting because we have the Seven and the Eight of Wands, and this speaks to like having to stand your ground and like defend your belief. But this speaks to like a message that's coming in. Are things changing quickly? So there's like a quick big change, transformation that's happening, and you might have to stick up for yourself, but it looks like you might have a powerful ally that's helping. It could be your own self, but clearly we're like building this new foundation out of the ashes of this transformation. So it's really interesting. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the Urban Tarot. And at the bottom of this deck, we have oppression. So this is really interesting. Like, this was a big energy that came through in the monthly reading for November. It was all about breaking free from an oppressive situation, you know. So this, it's interesting because we've, in the last several readings, another card that's come out a lot is the Public Defender, which kind of speaks to even like maybe a criminal situation that's coming to light. And this speaks to a criminal situation as well, but this is like an underlying energy. So whatever this situation is that's been weighing us down, like there seems to be a profound transformation that's happening. It's interesting because these came out together on the same row, and also on that row we got, from the Urban Tarot, we got interference, you know, which is kind of like fear and anxiety and like not really being able to see things as they are, you know, like maybe because you're afraid to or you're not ready to, you know. But it's just like because you're sort of like blocked from seeing things as they are, you know, you can be kind of stuck in this dysfunctional place. And underneath that we have the Three of Swords, sorrow, you know. It's the card of heartbreak, you know, things like definitely not working out in the way that you thought, you know. But we also have the Tower and Fire on top of this. So there's some sort of like situation that's really bringing you down, maybe this situation that's definitely transforming, you know? I mean, we got the fire and the tower on the same row, so it's just like, it's for sure changing, you know, like things are shifting, you know, and that's good, because this is like not, this is not a place where you want to be hanging out, you know, like this is like abuse and like heartache and heartbreak, you know. I mean, you want to move on from that energy. So then we have under, you know, this new foundation, we have our ancestors watching over us and guiding us to this new foundation. And this is really positive too, because we got the Wheel of Fortune and we got the universe. You know, so this speaks to like ascension, you know, like kind of graduating from one cycle of life to the next and taking a step up. And this speaks to like a profound change, you know, so like we're building this new foundation. We have the support of our ancestors, and we're moving on up, you know. It's like the Jeffersons, you know, like we're moving on up to the top to a deluxe apartment in the sky, and our ancestors are watching over us, you know. And then we have this new reality that's emerging, you know, like the heavens and the earth are coming into synchronicity, and this new reality is kind of bubbling up, you know. And we have this King of Wands presiding over this. So, you know, this could be you stepping into your power and manifesting this new reality. This could be a powerful ally that's like helping you with this. But interestingly, underneath this, we have the activists. So this is someone who is on a mission, you know, and they want to change the world for the better, you know, and they're aligned with something that's bigger than themselves. You know, like they have a purpose, you know. And on top of them, we have futility, which is interesting because this is a card, you know, it's a card of deception, and it's a card of like not necessarily being honest with yourself or with the people around you. And so like inevitably this creates sort of like a dysfunctional situation, because it's like if you're not being honest with yourself or with the people around you about like what you're trying to achieve, like inevitably like it's going to create like dysfunction, you know. And so that just basically creates futility, or just like a futile situation. But on top of that, we have this activist. So it's like almost like this activist is like shedding light on whatever this is, because this is a person who has a vision that's larger than themselves, and maybe they see the fault in this and they're trying to change it, you know. But like they're gonna get help, you know, because they have the support of this person or, you know, themselves, and they're gonna get help in sort of like transcending this situation, which is interesting because that's, you know, it's on the same row as this, like the heavens and the earth are coming into alignment. They're getting support from really powerful places to like bring things back into synchronicity, you know, like whatever futile situation has been like disrupting things, like things are coming back into balance, you know. Like I said, these crows speak to like the truth, being in alignment with the truth in the material world, you know. So like this deception is being transcended. And then interestingly, so we have this soul retrieval, we have this like healing of these disowned parts of ourselves, this, you know, these shadow elements. And like by like actually confronting those, I love how these cards kind of match. Confronting those and integrating them, we're building this new stability. And it's interesting because we have, on this row, we have luxury and we have the High Priestess. So the High Priestess is like a person who is kind of, it's like the feminine counterpart of the magician, you know, manifesting through, you know, feminine energy. So not necessarily by like actively striving for something, but by being open to receiving and to stillness and the power of just receiving, you know. And it's interesting because it's just like we have this luxury card on top of this Four of Cups, which speaks to like a situation of like maybe being taken for granted, and maybe that's this disowned part of this person's self that has to be healed. Like maybe being in a situation where they were being taken for granted, and like actually doing the work to like heal that and bring that into their awareness, and that's going to bring this like new stability. Like an example that I can speak to, like for myself, that's going on right now, like it's like I've been through the process of this eclipse, getting enlightened to this whole, it's like this, almost like this family secret that's been kept from me for forever. And like it's been impacting my life profoundly for decades. And I wasn't even aware of it, you know, but it was a situation where it was like I was being taken for granted, but I wasn't even aware of it, you know. So it was happening on like a subconscious level. So it was like profoundly and deeply impacting me in this very negative way, but like I wasn't even aware of it, you know. And so it's like things had been, I had been taken for granted, and these projections had been made about me when I wasn't around, you know, and like I didn't even know about it, you know. So it's just sort of like I'm going through this whole process of just like coming to terms with that, and just like, you know, it hurts that, you know, to find this out, but at the same time, like it's profoundly healing because I didn't even know about it. It was like impacting me on this deep level, and like now that I'm aware of it, I can like just confront it, like integrate it, and then realize like that's just somebody else's perception. Like it doesn't have to affect me. But it's like if you're not even consciously aware of it, like you can't reconcile it, you know. So it's really interesting how those line up. But you know, on this final row, it's just talking about, you know, going on this quest to like heal and fully integrate yourself, you know. And we have, you know, this message coming in, like someone kind of having to defend themselves. And like we have the Hangman, which is a card of like taking a step back and having perspective, and like maybe recognizing that there's some aspect of you that you're going to have to, you know, sacrifice to move forward. And then we also have the Hierophant, which like speaks to like support from like the spiritual realm, you know. Like maybe they might, this person who's like taking a step back and getting perspective on whatever this aspect of their life that needs to be healed is, might be getting support from like their church community or their family, you know. But like there's a message coming in and things are changing, and it's like they might have to, you know, defend themselves and how they've, you know, responded to this situation. But like for sure things are being healed, you know. Like we're getting some perspective on these things, you know. Like I was talking about, like with the situation that I'm speaking to, it's just like you can't heal it if you don't even know about it, you know. But like by bringing it into awareness and like integrating, there's like a profound shift that can be born out of that, you know, which is like really, really healing, you know. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's just like coming into integration is going to allow you to step into this balance, you know. And heal your energy so that you're kind of walking in this more of like a flow state, you know, because it's like if you're walking around with this wound and it's blocking your energy, but you're not even aware of it, you know, it's just gonna naturally distort how you walk through the world, and you might not even be aware of it. So it's like kind of like healing. There's a reading from a while ago about like healing a family curse. You know, sometimes you might not be aware of these patterns because they've been inherited through generations, and you've just accepted it as the way things are, but actually maybe they aren't, you know, maybe your family had it all wrong, or maybe they had the wrong idea about you, you know. I mean, one story that's been coming up for me lately is the story of, like, you know, I've been talking about the story of David and Goliath, which is sort of like a biblical story, but like when you go further back in time, in David's story, it was like he was this shepherd, you know, and like none of his family really thought that he had anything to offer, you know, like he wasn't really seen from his family as having like a lot of value. He was kind of this weird guy who talked to the animals and whatever, you know. But it turns out that he was like chosen, you know, by God, and had this role that was kind of beyond what anyone else in his family was up to, but like they didn't necessarily see it, you know. And so he had to go through this whole process of like, you know, he got discovered by the king at the time, you know, and pulled out of his family, and that was sort of like what brought him into this new sort of realm of opportunity. So it's like, you know, there might be this powerful person who's gonna pave the way for this new beginning, you know, like once you're able to heal whatever this is, this oversight, you know. But for today, it just speaks to like bringing all of this into awareness and like reintegrating it and healing it so that you can like walk forward into the world from this place of wholeness. Okay, so anyways, the cards that I picked from, I'm going to Starseed Oracle now. I got Heroeth, longing for home, homesick for the stars. You know, so like speaking to this like higher purpose that you're being called to, you know, and it might be beyond the reality that you're currently inhabiting, and that's why you're being drawn to like heal this. And then we have the blue flame, spontaneous awakening, activation, integration time. Interesting, because I'm talking about like integrating these wounds, and this is gonna like activate your power, you know. So wow, this is like big stuff, you know, but very eclipse appropriate reading. So yeah, keep working through all this stuff. It's leading to a brand new beginning, and it's very exciting. These readings that are coming through for the eclipse, I don't know why I keep saying ellipse, but for the eclipse are just like really profound, and I'm really I'm digging it. It's interesting too, because like I keep shuffling this deck, and every time I put it back in the box, I keep getting the same card at the bottom, which is the Great Severing, anger, conflict, and softening to love. So, you know, we might have to move through a lot of conflict as we're like healing these energies, and that might be part of the process. So don't get discouraged by that, because this is all, like I said, it's leading to good things. Like there's blue skies on the horizon. So keep the faith, and we'll check in soon with another reading. Oh yeah, and don't forget, I'm doing the holiday special. So your own personalized reading for $35. You can check in the description box for details. Okay, talk to you soon.